Hello and welcome to my channel. I don't normally do tutorials, and this channel is more about my FPV flights and trying to express my style while having fun and sharing these flights with my friends and family. So you'll have to excuse me if I'm recording this with my phone and I know that the sound quality is really bad. But I'm not a professional YouTuber and I probably never will be, so if you want to consider subscribing to my channel, I'll appreciate it. And hopefully you'll see how my videos get better and better. Okay, so before we begin, why did I do this mod? I did it because I use a stock FlySky Nirvana, which although is a fantastic radio in my opinion, I really like the feeling of the sticks and how I hold it, how it fits comfortably in my hand. It has an internal hardware problem, basically with power-hungry external modules. It will shut down because it can't handle the power they require. So if I use FreeSky R9M below at its lowest power setting, which is 25 milliwatts, or the TBS Tracer before the last updates came out, I didn't have any problem. I could fly it no problem. But with 500 milliwatts on the FreeSky and with the ludicrous power mode on the Tracer, it will shut down my radio. As you can imagine, I want to use the product to its full potential. I'm talking about the TBS Tracer. So while the R9M module has an external power socket and you can just plug in a battery and solve the issue that way, there was no such thing on the TBS Tracer. I decided to go ahead and try and fix the problem my way. Alright, so I'll go ahead and show you first of all the final result. Boom, TBS Tracer with an XT60 coming out. Put in your LiPo battery and it works. Perfect. On all power levels, of course. Okay, so what are you going to need for your mod? Well, first of all, a pair of XT60s and some cable. And boom, an extension cable. I don't think you really need a tutorial about this, but it's highly recommended, so you can fly with the battery comfortably in your pocket, and this cable goes to the module and you're done. Okay, for the mod itself, you're gonna need a male XT60 and an external BEC. I found this on Banggood for less than $4 or less than €4. It's really good and reliable according to the reviews and to the fact that I've used it in another project at home and it has never failed me yet. Input voltage from 2 to 6S, so you can use any batteries you have at home for your quad, and the output is 5 volt 3 amps. Okay, so now let's get down to the mod itself. If I could do it, anyone can. It's really that easy. So first of all, you want to take off these two screws on the back of your TBS Tracer module and carefully take apart the white box from the rest. This will expose the PCB. As you can see, there are 3 more screws, 1, 2 and 3. You want to remove those carefully too. Once you've removed those, carefully lift the PCB from the rest. The antenna will be attached. You don't need to detach it, just be careful not to rip anything off. Next step, you can see this black connector on the back of your PCB, which is where the JR pins go in the module once you put it in its place on the radio. The connectors are inside. You can carefully take the black cover off without harming anything. Just don't bend or rip off any of the connectors. And you'll have them exposed like this. At this point, you want to remove the center one. Okay, remove only the center one by applying your solder iron tip on the back of it and gently pulling. As soon as the solder melts, it will come right out. On the back, you want to solder the output wires of the BEC, the 5 volt in the middle where you just took off the connector, and the ground wire on the second from the left, the one next to it, you know, where you have not taken off the connector. So you'll have the ground pin that receives ground from the radio and also from the BEC, and this is important to make everything continue working as it should. At this point, it's really just a matter of putting everything back together. So you screw the 3 bolts back in and you fit the BEC inside the case. You make a small hole in the top or in the bottom, as you prefer. There's space for both. You make the wires come out, and once they're outside, you can solder an XT60 to them. Okay, so we're back here. I just want to show you how it works. So I'm going to open my radio right here.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Switch
warning.
Yeah, whatever.
Angle.
So you go to the tracer page. Sorry, to the setup page of the OpenTX. External RF. Setup. Doesn't work. Why? Because it's off. Alright. I plug in my extension cord. Lights on. Setup. Boom. Ludicrous power mode. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of this mod, and I wish you all a nice evening. Ciao.